So for this week's lockdown free challenge, we're all going to the zoo or possibly a pub or two. The challenge is to collect a wide range of animals, all from pubs that are named after them. So we have to find this week the bear, the bee, the cat, the cock, the deer, the dog, fox, greyhound, horse, leopard, swan, and then there's a bonus animal, which is the bull. So we've been provided a route, and at the moment you can see in the top right hand corner here, I've started off nice and early. This is my second attempt on this particular route, but nice and early on this route around our local area. What I want to just highlight here is that this is a bit of an experiment with some software here. So although it's filmed using a cyclic rather than using their software on VIRB software, which means that you can take the video clip and take a GPX file from the Garmin, and you end up having what we have here, which is a data overlay on a bit of footage. And of course, this was a 2.5 hour ride. So it's been sped up significantly so that you haven't got 2.5 hours of footage to have to go through. But here we are coming into Boldmere. A bit of a pain this morning because it was quite dark when we started, and this particular Alfa Romeo decided that it was his own personal racetrack to start with, so I've let him go on ahead rather than get in the way. So true to a John Williams classic route here, taking us through some pretty urbanised areas and some places that otherwise I probably would never have stumbled across. But this zigzags in and out of a couple of small places in and around Sutton Coldfield and just on the outskirts of. So here we go, coming up to our first pub stop, I believe, and that was one of the things about this challenge was obviously being aware. This one was quite a sneaky one actually. It's a disused pub, but the sign is still there. You can just see it in the top of the video clip there. So the idea is, as we were going around taking selfies, it's been going on all week, and of course because we are in lockdown, it means we can only either do it as a solo ride or in a socially distant pair ride. My first attempt was with Nick in a paired ride, but I realised that Nick had already had a bit of practice as well, so he put down some good time. So as well as the looking at for the animals within the pubs that we're searching for here, we also have two segments, a sprint segment and a hill climb, which obviously we're going to see how time is done on that. So I've gone out again today, see if I can get those times a little bit better. However, wind direction changed today. Oh, you can see I just went a little bit wrong there. Again, having to keep a close eye on that mapping. Some lots of twists and turns here, as you can see, coming through this very urbanised area. So as we go round, just keeping an eye out for the pubs, because although I'd seen them once, it was only once, and quite a lot of these little roads I've not been down before. So just making sure that being safe, but also keeping an eye out for those pubs as we come up to them. So looking at some of the information here. So what I really like about this software is it gives you the metrics. You can see my heartbeat starting to rise as I go up the climb here. Not too bad for me anyway. Here we go, going to turn left now, still climbing, so that heart rate's still going up a little bit. Slowed down a little bit here as well. It was quite cold this morning, particularly at the very start. I'm also getting my breath back here a little bit, because I know in a second, after I've taken a selfie outside, try and remember which pub it is now. No, we're at Deerleap now. We're going to, in a short while, as we come round towards Barbeacon, obviously we've got the climb up Barbeacon, and that's the segment. So I've taken a little bit of a breather as we've come through here. So again, as we look at the data there, it also shows the elevation. You can actually have any data sets that you're recording on your Garmin overprinted onto the screen, and you can choose different styles. So this particular style, I've tried to keep it in wild green wheeler colours. Looking forward to getting our club kits. So here we go. This is at the very bottom of Barbeacon, so I'm just going to get a picture Across the road on the right here, I've just got off a bike and using my phone to get the selfie. So here we go. First climb. A bit easier yesterday because I had Nick pace me up through, although I think he sneakily might have been pacing me a bit slower because he put down a very good time during the week. So note to myself, Nick, a very strategic rider. But you can see from the wobbles there, a couple of times up onto the pedals, trying to just keep the momentum up. Very weird headwind coming up the hill today. That's my excuse anyway. So here we are on the crest of the hill now and pushing through up to the traffic lights. The key for the timing on this one really is on these flats not to take a breather, but to push all the way through, because you do get a breather at the very end here at traffic lights. And the segment takes us right up to the traffic lights here. So we're going to be turning right and going down the hill in a second. On this occasion, first time ever, bar beacon actually hitting that traffic light with a green. Round and roundabout we go, and you can see the pace has picked up now, 40 kilometers an hour. Sneaky little left-hand turn coming up though. Again, I think John keeping us on our toes. So we whiz through here. Wasted a bit of time yesterday doing this because I thought there might have been a pub down in this little bit, but I think the main reason for bringing us down through this way was to bring us a little bit further north to come over the top of Sutton on the furthest outreaches. So whizzing down through here again, nice flowing road, good roads on this bit. We'll say later in the ride the road surfaces are a little poorer. Roundabout here actually is quite poor as well. Very busy roundabout that one during the week. So here we come, flying up through to the furthest point north that the route goes. In a short moment we'll be moving over to the right. Wasn't so lucky that time, hit the traffic light, but nothing wrong with having a quick draw a breath. There was another cyclist on the right actually who was trying to talk to me, but I couldn't hear him through my skull cap. So now downhill, again you can see the speeds picking up. Love the way that the graphics really are quite accurate. Well, they're not quite accurate, they're very accurate. And what you do when you put your GPX file over it is that you can fine tune the video shot with the map, and so you can trim it and adjust it to be able to reach in. So here we go, we're climbing again. Heart rate's stable here at the moment actually. Didn't particularly massively push it hard up through here. Very pleasant actually coming up through this part, and it started to warm up. The sun was coming up a little bit better, and in a short while we'll see some glorious shots of that sunrise. Now there's a pub we're just coming up to now, and then after this one, once we've got the photograph in, John obviously set a bonus pub up, so I figured that knowing that how the rules might or might not be applied, even though I'd got the bonus one yesterday, I'd go down the hill and go and collect it again. Did a little good turnout chap on the crossing. He dropped something, so prompted him. I think it might have been a £50 note. No, I'm not sure what it was, but he was very grateful. Here we go, back up the hill. Decided today, yesterday when I went out with Nick, we just cut the corner from the route a little bit because we knew there wasn't a pub on that section. But today decided to keep it in, partly because again I knew it was going to go down a road I've not been down before. So down here, like I say, I've not done this section before. Look at that sun; it's coming up beautifully. Actually, at this point, I was then really pleased I'd chosen to go out. And for once, not too overdressed or too underdressed as well. So yeah, got it right. So you can see it's absolutely glorious morning for being out on a ride, and the roads are pretty empty here, as you can see. Very few cars, and the pace has really picked up coming down through here. At this point, I even contemplated the fact that maybe this needed to be the January century, but obviously sensibility kicked in. Here we go. I think it was a bit unlucky with traffic lights today actually, hit quite a few reds. Going to go down really fast downhill now. So look at that sun, let's say. This was the nicest part of the ride actually for the next 20-25 minutes as that sun started really breaking through on the horizon. Traffic lights down here, and I've got a feeling, I can't remember exactly, but I'm pretty sure today I was able to shoot straight through, whereas yesterday sat there for ages with Nick waiting for it to change. Yeah, there you go, look straight through. and having to time this absolutely perfectly because the climb here catches everyone out. Not too bad today, not quite up to Matt standards. He'd have still been sprinting up over the ridge, but I was happy enough just to keep it ticking over. So yesterday with Nick we turned right, but today I'm going to go left and follow the actual route. Hilariously, I think Nick thought we might cut a few miles off. We did exactly the same distance in the end. So note to self, don't go on a pub crawl with Nick and expect him to be a navigator, because sober, as I say, he managed to add miles on rather than put it on. Yeah, rode very courteously today. So with those walkers in that car, and you'll see shortly there's been a few horses as well, which again, you know, on a nice Sunday morning ride, much better to be safer than sorry. So really good route. Loads of runners today, loads of runners. So as we came down through here, it's actually a bit wetter than I remembered it. Probably too busy enjoying that sunlight, as I say, though. So you can also see there's the elevation markings on the center graphic there. You can set those graphics to either be the exact elevation, or you can set a 0. There you go, there's a horse that we were passing. But you can set it to do one or the other. I've left it to be as is. So here we go. Again, main road nice and closed, even quiet. So there's another pub down here I didn't even know existed. Again, what's nice about these challenges. So not only is it getting us out cycling, but you get to explore new things, new places. And as I say, you get to see that sunlight as well. I wouldn't have got that if I'd been Zwifting this morning. So here we go, down to the right here, saying never been down here, but why would I? It's a dead end. Went looking for the pub, then realised that it must be on this corner. So there's me taking a picture over my left-hand shoulder there. Actually quite funny seeing the shadow there, pulling the camera out. Okay, so then we up towards Kingsby Water Park. And you can see now it really was breaking through. This was where it was like, yes, this is why we cycle. Would have been nice to have had someone to natter to potentially, although as you can tell from his commentary, it's incredibly dull, so probably would have bored him to death. But yeah, look at that. Look, absolutely, that is the reason we cycle, isn't it? So anyway, here we go, over to the main road here, over the roundabout. Not much further to go now. Didn't do this bit, as I say, yesterday. Nice, continuing to be clear roads, so pretty effortless in terms of having to navigate traffic today. So as we come down here, although it's a reasonable pace, I'm conscious of not pushing it too hard. Actually, at this point, I hadn't realised I had the wind nicely on my back anyway. But shortly, I'm going to be doing the sprint section. So here we go, get a picture of that pub. And then to the right there is ready for my sprint section, but the wind literally was whistling down through there. So here we go, building it up. And as you turn the bend here, lots of cyclists coming in the opposite direction today. Just maintaining the pace here now, rather than doing anything silly, just making sure that that it's maintained and a half decent time there. This road's always an interesting one because it's one that it's nice to again put some power down, but just always have to be a bit careful on the surface on this. And again, knowing the headwind's wrong, segment I really want is the Curdworth one. And again, on the correct day, at this point now, I'd start getting myself ready and thinking about how I'm going to hit that particular segment. But today, again, just knew that it was about enjoying the ride, really, if I'm honest. And again, you see that sunshine over my shoulder, that lovely shadow I cast. And then here, and again, at some point when weather's better, hitting into the summer, this is the segment I'm going to go after over the top of this bridge. So we're going to come up to the Beehive. Didn't put too much effort into going around the corner this time today, so I took a picture from there. Now we're obviously navigating the last bit of the road to come up to the White Horse. So 3 quick pubs in quick succession here. So after the White Horse here, short way up the road, and then obviously it's the Cock Inn. You can see absolutely empty roads, perfect Sunday morning really. Can't wait for COVID to be over and us having a nice peloton going through here. Having ridden one of Matt's fast flat rides preferably. But so here we come up. Just on the right here is the Cock Inn. There we go. Long distance photograph again. You might have just seen just in front of me there, Sarah, and I'm not sure who she was with, but Sarah and someone else whizzed past. So we continue up the hill, past some more horses. So now at this point, it's you can see the heart rate has been fairly consistent all the way through. Not really pushing massively on the hill here, but pushing enough to keep that speed nice and steady. Round the corner here. Wind on the back there for a moment, and then unfortunately down the stretch here now as we turn around to the left, not as supportive in terms of the weather as it could be. But again, keep a half decent pace down through here. And you'll see on that map just how good the infographic on the right hand side there it is in terms of action. You can make that different sizes. And I was saying about styles, so obviously I've chosen a colour scheme and a style that I think fits Wild Green Wheelers. But there's about 30 different overlays, and you can use it for things like skydiving and all sorts. So yeah, it's quite clever what it does. So there's our last pub, the Fox, and now it's just the ride home. So I don't think, was it favourable? Yes, I did get a green. So at this point, I knew that I might not quite get 35 kilometres. So I was just thinking in my head how to make sure that it was a 35 kilometre ride. So at this point, get ready for the slope, up the slope, and I've made a decision now that as I get up to the end of this roundabout, I'm going to go straight on. And then going straight on just adds on about a mile and a bit. Well, it's a dual carriageway, it's a bus lane, so nice and safe. And just have to be careful when you get to the next junction at the end here that it's a quick glance over the shoulder because you have to dive over to the right to get into the junction. So here we go, into that junction. One of the shortest traffic lights known to man, so when this goes green in a minute, you can't hang about because I think it's just as I hit over, then it goes red. Round about here to the right, and now for the very gentle climb up to my bit of Erdington. So here we go, nearly home. So obviously now completed the animal search via the pubs. So I'm not sure if it was a pub crawl or a zoo visit, but nonetheless, all animals pictured, and hopefully some half decent times on the 2 segments laid down as well. And we're home.